this is Miss Startup, and this is our second video on business intelligence. So, 5 steps to put in place your business intelligence strategy for your startup. I'm going to show you in 5 steps how you're going to put in place your business intelligence for your company or startup project. So, this is no matter how big or small you are, these are 5 steps that you can start and that will help you to put in place your business intelligence. So it's really important because we are in an era of a lot of data and we have to be able to analyze that data and to transform it into knowledge. So these are simple and efficient things that you can do, tools that you can use for free or low budget for better understanding your market and your industry. So, the first step is to follow what is important for your company or for your product. So, there is a lot of data out there, and you need to be able to focus on what is important. So, you don't need to follow everything. Hashtags are awesome, but if you don't use them right, it can be really overwhelming. So, first, identify what is important for your company or for your project, and then follow that. Everything else, delete. Forget about it. You don't need to follow everything to be able to understand the trends and follow what is happening with your industry. So, once you have understand your problem, need, research, topic, product, or whatever, and that you know what you're tackling, it's time to follow what is important for doing just that, tackling the problem or the need. Use the technology. There are plenty of apps, plugins, and offline ways of doing that. First thing is you can create Google Alerts. You can get emails, for example, into your Gmail account every time there is a new result or a new content created around that topic that you want to follow. So in Google search, you just, for example, say, I want to follow what is happening with the situation of the coronavirus in the world. So you just tap COVID 19 and you say, I want to add a Google alert. So you will receive a weekly or daily, depending on how you set up the thing, new articles and all the news that have been created and enter into Google about that topic. So you will receive just a summary of what is happening. If you don't know how to do it, there is a link below on the video comments on how to create Google Alerts. Another thing that you can use is Talkwalker. So Talkwalker functions similarly as Google Alert. The good thing about Talkwalker is that it also includes tweets. So from Twitter. You can also follow RSS flows from content creators that you want. So let's say we are still on this coronavirus trend. You want to follow, for example, the World Health Organization and the content that they are creating. So you can just go to their website and click on the RSS logo, which is the orange one. And you click on that and you are going to receive just notification on your laptop or device every time there is something new published on that specific website. Or you can subscribe to platforms that integrate all those contents and that you can follow in just one account. So a pretty good platform for doing that is Feedly. So for Feedly, you just need to create an account. It's for free. You can also follow topics on the different social network media. So you just need to follow or subscribe to topics. So you use a hashtag again for the topics that are important for your company. So, for example, you will have content on that specific topic coming from many people. You can also join Facebook groups and tribes. So tribes are the same thing as Facebook groups, but for Twitter. You can also create and join Twitter lists so that you can have in the same place all the tweets from people talking about a specific topic. So, for example, I don't know, you want to know the trends on air pollution, so you can just create a link on air pollution and you can add the people that are talking about that. You can also join LinkedIn groups and follow topics. It's really important. LinkedIn is the first platforms for business. LinkedIn is where most of the important news and press release and product release are done for business. So it's really important to be on those groups in LinkedIn more than on Facebook. The second step is to spy on your competitors and look for the trends. So you know the saying, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. So it's important that you have them on your vision so that you can know what is it that they are doing and how you can compete with them and how you can create your competitive advantage. So you can use for that Google Trends to see what the consumers are looking for in the web. So what are the topics that are trending right now? What are the keywords that they use, for example, when they are looking or buying for a specific product? What are the keywords that they are looking for when they want to find a specific information? How do they get there? So you can use Google Trends to have information about this. You can use platforms or web apps such as Craft and Owler that helps you understand better your competitors. So these are websites that are built by the community itself. That means that the data and the information there is given by the community using Owler. So, for example, if you have a company or a startup in a specific industry, you just can create the profile for your company and give the information that they ask you. So that means that you will get repatriated as a competitor for a specific product, for example. So these web apps, they have really interesting information about, for example, the size of the company or how much revenue they make in different quarters, on how much money have they raised, how much fundraising campaigns have they done, whether they have merged or been acquired by other companies, how many employees, who's the CEO, what are the rankings of the CEO, and also you can get a list of other direct and indirect competitors for that company. So if you have a name, for example, of one of your competitors, you can go there. So of course they are not all repertoriated there, but most of them are. You can look for them, and you will also get new competitors that you have to keep on your vision. Then you have more general databases like Crunchbase, which follows most of the companies startup, big and small and medium. They have information about fundraising campaign, merger and acquisition, a stock, IPO, and many others about who are the investors, where have they their headquarters, where do they sell, and so on. So a lot of really interesting and valuable information. Crunchbase has a subscription business model, so that means that you have to pay to get the data. You can have some data for free, but of course, if you need the crunchy one, you need to pay. But it's still affordable. It's, I think, between 20 and 30 euros per month. But it's really a good data when you're going to do a market research, for example, or when you really need to do research about your industry. So I really recommend it when you're in that stage. Then you have also other apps such as Mode. So Mode is where you can see how ad campaigns, publications, and advertising are made by the competitors, and you can have an analysis of how they are used and how they are perceived by the customers. So it's pretty interesting because it can give you idea of how to use your money in marketing and in advertising. It gives you already insights on which type of advertising works the best. what kind of words, for example, what are the colors that they are using, what are the type of images that they are using, whether they are videos or just images and so on. So you have a lot of data about advertising campaigns of your competitors. You have SEM Rush that analyzes traffic from websites. So it looks at your competitor web traffic and analytics and gives you a lot of insight, for example, about how much time do they spend in their website, uh, how much do they have convert users paying or buying their products, what are the hotspots in the website, what are the best hours or the hours that they have most of the customers going, uh, when where do they come from, and so on. So a lot of good information. Then you have SimilarWeb that is going to give you a benchmark of your website against those of your competitors. So you can see what are the marketing strategies, digital marketing strategies of your competitors, for example. What are the keywords that they are using, how your web traffic is compared to theirs, and so on. So they have a freemium business model. So they have a free version that you can use, but it has limited functionalities, but it stays affordable for small projects. Don't forget to follow all of your competitors on the social media. You have to know what they are doing in the social networks because this is where they interact with your customers. So you can also look at press releases from your direct and indirect competitors to see what is it that they are talking about, if they are planning to launch a new product, if they have issues, or if there is a merge with another company, or whether they are entering the stock market, and so on. Also, use referencing and comparative websites to understand competitors' performance, to see what the customers are saying about those competitors. You can also go to fair and industry events to see who is there and get them, your competitors, to pitch you their projects or their products. Buy them a product or a service to test them and to see what is it that is not working, where can you make it better, how it differentiates from you, and so on. It's really important also to look for potential new entrants because even if they might be small, they can be really quick and adapt easily to the changing environment. So look at startup directories. In France, there are a few. For example, you have Le Pepitech, where you can find a lot of new startups and projects that have been incubated or that are incubated in the different structures. Links below. You have also Million Startup, but in the US you have TechCrunch, you have Crunchbase, and you don't forget to look at the crowdfunding sites campaign to see what is new, because there is where you can find the new potential entrants of your market. So the third step is get to know your customer and the trends. You need to be their friends and understand how they think, how they behave, and how they use your products or those of your competitors. So you can look at, for example, consumer trends and behaviors in general aspects from Google users. Know that most of your users are going to be Google users unless you're in a B2B market, but even there. So you have something pretty cool that is called a consumer barometer, where you can find general insights about customer trends and behaviors. For example, things that they are buying and their lifestyle, things that they are looking, or things that they are saying, or kind of apps that they are using. And so it's a lot of data that is collected by Google and the different tools of Google about their customers. And it's pretty amazing what you can do with that. It's also pretty scary because it gets you thinking about all the data that Google has from you and that you don't know and cannot manage. You can also understand better your audience and the behavior. So, for example, if you use YouTube, do you have channel and create content in YouTube because I don't know, because it's important for your company, or because you're an influencer or a coach or whatever you use YouTube for? There is also a pretty good website that lets you analyze and measure our audience behavior. So Think with Google. It can help you better target your audience depending on what are their habits, for example, and their behaviors and their tastes and preferences and so on. So they can tell you, this website will tell you, for example, insights on what are the best types of video that works better for your company or for your audience. So, for example, in terms of length, of duration of the video, in terms of words that you use, in terms of content that you use and tackle, and so on. So it will give you insights of what works better with your audience. Then you have other apps that look at the consumer journey. So that means all the steps and the path that the customer follows before they get into your website or to buy your product. A good app for doing this is JumpShot. It's really amazing what they can do. It's again is by subscription, but is still really affordable. Then you have another good platform to see what is happening in social media and what people is talking about is Social Share. So Social Share is going to just integrate content and information from Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. It gives you insights about the hot topics on the social media and how people is talking about it. The fourth step is access free data and be grateful for it. So before you go and do your survey and your research, look for what is already available on the web for free before you do all those efforts. So do not reinvent the wheel. There is a lot of data on specific topics that have been already gathered by other people, probably people with more experience than you, with more time than you have, and that they have expend a lot of money doing it. So many of them are really generous and they leave it open access to anyone. So here I have a list of different platforms or websites that have open access data sets, pretty cool open access data sets. I will say that my favorite one is Kaggle, the one that is on the first line, because you can find any kind of data, any topic. So it's multidisciplinary, coming from all sides of the world, and you can find pretty good data sets. So just be sure that whatever data set you use, that you understand what they are measuring, that you understand how they measure, and that you can organize the data well. So most of the people who share data, they have a specific file explaining all the variables, the population where the data was gathered from, how it was done, the methodology, and so on. So be sure you have access to this because it's important if you want to be sure that the data is reliable. The fifth step is you don't have time, and we know that. And we know that every entrepreneur is doing more important things than just reading articles and looking at videos or seeing Instagram posts from their competitors. But you can save it for later because it's really important in your daily life. So, I know that many times you find interesting data, articles, videos, or information that you know is important for your business, but that you are just not having the time right away to look at it. So either because you have a daily routine and the work gives you little time to read those, or because you're just interviewing a client and you cannot look at the post from your competitor, or because you're taking a class and you cannot look at internet and so on. So there are some apps and plugins that you can download to your browser or your phone or your tablet or whatever device you use To save articles, videos, news, voice recording, or whatever you find interesting for later when you have more time. So there are many, many, many in the industry, in the market. The one that I use and that I recommend is Pocket. So Pocket lets you save any resource possible so that you can access it later and read it later. So Pocket is, you download it, you can get it from getpocket.com. You download it and you have a plugin on your browser. Every time you find something interesting, you can just click on it and it will save it directly to your account. So once you open your Pocket profile, you have the list of all the articles that you have to read. It also, you can also organize them by categories or by topics, so it's easier to find the information you want to read and to know to which topic it is linked to. You can also have the web app. So for in any case you don't have your device with you, you can access through the web app to all the articles you've saved. Another good app, pretty good app that I recommend you to use is Evernote, which is a knowledge management tool to save and manage notes, pictures, videos, voice recording, articles, web resources, whatever you have. So you just have on one same app, you can have everything for saving and controlling all your knowledge and information on a specific topic. So imagine if you have a class, you can take pictures of the board, record the professor speaking about the topic, download the slides from that topic, and everything will be on the same place. Everything you can tag it and categorize by notes as if you have a journal, and is really pretty accessible. So it's free. That's the first thing. Secondly, if you need more space or if you want to use more devices to synchronize, then you have to pay, but it's still pretty accessible. Then you have other apps that help you to keep track on your task. So, for example, if you have to prioritize tasks or organize tasks for developing your project, you can use Notion. It helps you to understand the workflow of your project, to understand who is responsible for doing what. It's a pretty amazing app where you can do pretty anything. It saves you time, but it also helps you to organize better your work and the work of your team. You can use Airtable, Asana, you have Trello, you have HubSpot, and many others. But Notion is free. So this is for now. These are the tools that I use for doing business intelligence. You can start using them right away with little or zero budget, and you just need to organize yourself to be sure that you don't miss any important information about what is happening and about your environment. So stay tuned with new videos. I hope you've learned something and that you find it interesting. Bye bye.